We've got something huge on this chart, ladies and gents. What I'm about to show you happened many years ago for Bitcoin, and it resulted in a number that quite frankly is too big to say, but Bitcoin went from $300 to 20K. I don't know what percent that is. I don't know if that's going to happen again, probably not, but I want to break down for you what I am actually seeing. And before we do get into that, let's break down the short-term analysis. We've continued this phenomenal bounce up. Again, from our low to our high, we're up by basically about 8%, which is absolutely phenomenal. And we did see some pullbacks on each of these days, but we just continue marching forward. Today marks our 4th consecutive day of upward price action, which just makes the support all the more obvious, right? We knew this so well on this YouTube channel. It felt like the entire crypto space disagreed with me on this and, just expected Bitcoin to plummet through its strongest fucking support level. But obviously, that's why we're here to bring these very grounded, realistic videos to you. It doesn't matter whether the price is going up or down. One of the things you've consistently heard me talk about on this YouTube channel is that when we hit support, we typically bounce, and when we hit resistance, we typically get rejected. And that kind of realistic approach has actually been incredibly useful for me in ripping beautiful trades like this one that I actually made on Bybit. So I do want to highlight this to you guys before I get into the rest of this video. The exchange links I've got down below for you are absolutely huge. BingX allows you to trade traditional finance markets. You've got gold, oil, forex, indices, S&P 500, but also Tesla, Apple, Amazon, all on leverage, all without KYC, all without a picture of yourself or your ID. And Bybit, well, it's the best crypto exchange for sure. They will be giving you up to $30,000 in free trading money, depending on how much you deposit and trade with when you sign up using my link in the description. So check them all out. OKX up to 60k in rewards as well. Huge offers for you. Let's get into the rest of this video. We are currently sitting at resistance right now, and I do think that we might be ready for a bit of a pullback. If you look at the way these daily candles kind of show their body language, I guess, so to speak, we've got some nice big candles here on the first 2 days, especially that second day, which is really good, by the way. If we get a second big candle, that is actually what gives me a lot of confidence. And then, yesterday and today, we have seen some smaller moves, but that's fine, because we know that we're facing resistance right now. If we look at this on the daily EMA ribbon, there's quite a lot of resistance from the EMA ribbon, and we have a big spread. If you don't know what this is or how to use it, then type this into the YouTube search bar and you'll get access to my free tutorial on how to use this indicator, how to get it, and so on. It's part of the wider 𝗬𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗚 Academy courses, which you can get by following these steps on screen. But EMA resistance right here, so sure, yeah, we're going to expect a little bit of resistance. 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, also here, yeah, we're going to expect a little bit of resistance. So I don't mind that the trend is slowing down here, and I certainly wouldn't mind if we did kind of reverse for a little bit, and then, maybe just find some support off, like this low right here, which was also this resistance right here, which could turn into support. Typically, we see that the same level gets interacted as support, resistance, support, resistance. So if you get a nice little bounce off a level like this and attack it again, that would be really nice. But just the way these candles are right now, I mean, even though, it's been, a little bit slower, I mean, this is some quite bullish, I don't even know, just positioning, to be honest. It just, it's just not really struggling that much either. I mean, yeah, it slowed down a little bit, but I really don't think it's anything particularly concerning. So that is a great sign. Now, there is something to be said about the fact that this happened on a weekend. Weekend price action, I don't know, we might trust it a little bit less. Personally, I don't really care, but I know that other people, they take that stuff pretty seriously. For me, whether it happens on a weekend or a weekday doesn't really make a big difference, but still, very nice to see nonetheless. Here's where it gets kind of crazy. Take a look at this chart right here. This chart shows us Bitcoin from its lows in 2022, 2023. This was 17K, connecting the low right here. This is the low that I went long off on Bitcoin, the one that made me the profits that I've been not able to shut up about. And then, we've bounced off this very same low again right here, which is absolutely beautiful. And it really is a very bullish chart. Now, hopefully this is nothing new to you, because you've been watching me for a while. So we've known the market was bullish literally since the bottom. And again, you can go back to my YouTube videos here. While everybody was losing their shit, I was telling you that I'm definitely seeing a 30k Bitcoin, and I'm probably also seeing a 40k Bitcoin down at 17k. Obviously, that was an incredibly scary thing to say at that time, because I'm a human too, but again, it's just one of those things, guys, where if you stick to the basics, it will get scary at times, but they work incredibly well. We've got the Ichimoku cloud supporting Bitcoin and this beautiful trend line, but I'm going to show you how this gets a little bit crazy in a minute. Here, take a look at this. We've got Another setup here, this actually shows us what happened a little bit backwards back in 2020, you know, when we bounced off with the COVID crash. We've had similar kind of structures here on shorter term bases, and you know, we would just explode off these trend lines. You know, we would kind of find support off a diagonal trend line for a bit of time and then explode above it, find support for some time and then explode, support for some time and then explode, right? Absolutely beautiful setups on this chart, just continuously reproducing themselves. But take a look at what else we have right here. We've also got a situation on this chart where we've got a diagonal trend line that has formed a beautiful bit of support for Bitcoin, which has definitely been confirmed with this bounce as well. But we've also got this horizontal level, which we've known very much about. You know, this level sitting at $25,000 is probably the single most important level that I've been outlining to you guys continuously on this YouTube channel, because I was telling you that previous resistance is quite likely to form new support. And that is exactly what's happened here. But let's take this a step further. This is actually what's happened back in 2015. Back in 2015, we had a resistance level at $300, and this was a fairly consistent resistance level. It lasted a very long time, basically throughout the entire year for 2015, so it's definitely a larger time frame than what we're dealing with right now. You know, just to give you a point of reference, if we come back to this chart right here, we'll take a naked chart so that this doesn't get too confusing for us. I'm just going to go ahead and remove these indicators. You know, if we do take a look at the time frames that we're working with on this chart right here, you know, we fell below the 25k level and then broke back above it in 9 months. So to be honest, the time frames are kind of similar. You know, I don't know how long this was exactly, but we're looking at basically January to November. So yeah, I mean, like 11 months. It's fine. You know, it's not too crazy. It's not too different, but very significant, right? I mean, we're finding resistance at the very same level, very nicely spaced out. You know, this is happening in, I'm guessing, March. I don't know. It's not saying it here. And this is happening here in July. You know, it's a nice kind of 4-month gap on this occasion here. You know, between each of our resistance hits, it took 6 months. So, you know, one of the things that we really like, guys, on these charts is if we have our tests of resistance levels every time we hit these resistance levels, if they're nicely spaced out, you know, with a kind of big time gap, that, you know, really says something. That, you know, really gives you a lot of confidence in how significant that price level is. And that's why it was so easy for me to tell you that I'm expecting a bounce here, even though everybody else just couldn't seem to stomach the most basic tenets of technical analysis, you know, and that's just their own undoing. You know, this is an extremely basic form of analysis, just looking at, you know, old areas of resistance turning into new areas of support. But if you do stick with these are what work most of the time, and these are definitely what have been good enough to make me the money. Here's what happened next. Here we go. This is what happened next, ladies and gents. This is the $300 level, this line right here. And if we take a look at the next 2 years of price action, Bitcoin ended up moving up by 6,500%. So evidently a percentage which is too big to remember because it's a little bit crazy. Now, obviously, I don't think Bitcoin's going to do something like that. You know, that is insane. You know, it just, you know, doesn't, you know, you can't really compare it to where we are right now. The market was much smaller, but that's not really the point either. I'm not interested in saying that Bitcoin's going to have a 6,500% move, but what I am interested in saying is that, well, we've done really well off trend lines like this, where we'd find support for a little bit and then explode up. Find support, explode up. We've done really well with situations like this, where we are right now. We've done really well with situations like this, which we've seen play out already, just right here. You know, and I'm not saying we're going to get a 6.5k% move. I don't care about that, but what if it's only a 50% move, right? Let's just put this in perspective here. If Bitcoin only moves up by 50%, we're still in a really good place. Bitcoin going up by 50% puts us at $37,000. What if we double? You know, if we double from 25k, we're back up at $50,000, guys. You know, we don't need to do anything as insane as what happened back here, you know, from 2015 all the way to the end of 2017. This was the high at 20k. We don't need to do that. That's not necessary in order for us to make money, but it, you know, it can be a representation of big price moves coming, whether that means it's a 50% move for us or, you know, a 100% move or a 200% move. It's still going to be very significant. Even if it's just $20,000 flat, which would be amazing, that still puts us at $45,000. There's no way you can look at this chart and feel bearish you know, at least for me, I just can't find the way to be bearish on this chart. We've even got it on the very short-term trend right now. Now, this chart is a little bit outdated, mind you, but, you know, we've got a similar situation here with a nice little uptrend on the hourly, you know, and just more resistance up ahead. And this is really where it gets very, very important, right? I mean, you know, we are still battling that resistance. We do still have these challenges up ahead of us. And obviously, you know, we do need pullbacks if we're going to be rallying up, especially if we want to see healthy rallies. And that is incredibly important. You can't get around it. So, you know, this level is going to be really, really important. Like I said to you in the previous video, ladies and gents, if Bitcoin is able to get above this resistance level, it's going to face more resistance, you know, but this is an area where there's a lot of confluence. You know, this is an area where if we count, we've got this horizontal resistance right here. We've got this diagonal resistance right here. We've got the Ichimoku cloud. We've got the EMA ribbon. That's 4 separate forms of resistance already, you know, and that's only using the basic forms of analysis that I use. You know, I'm sure that if you're using different indicators, you're going to have other signs that are concerning. Volume tapering off as well. You know, this trend is not perfect, but good for us. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. You know, what we need on a macro time frame are nice big bounces off important support levels like this. And, you know, whatever kind of happens. Generally, if the market is strong enough, it'll just carry itself higher off these kind of support levels. And one of the things that I did warn you guys about is that at the beginning of these bounces, it still doesn't look realistic, right? Like on this candle here, you know, you would have been pretty comfortable in a short position. If you took a short down here because you were one of the idiots, you would have, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but you would have, you know, but still, I mean, you know, are you really just going to short the strongest area of support on the chart? I'm not trying to say you're an idiot, but it's definitely not smart, you know, and at this point, you'd still be confident in that short position. And if you're scared of Bitcoin, you'd still be pretty sure that Bitcoin, I don't know if my webcam just switched off there, you'd still be pretty sure that Bitcoin might continue to tumble lower. But, you know, as that picture continues to develop, we are showing that this, you know, is producing some signs of strength. Now, one of the things that can actually make this really exciting is if we look at potential targets, and that's something that I want to show to you guys, because again, it's the trading opportunities on these charts that are really, really exciting. And again, before I do get into that, I have to highlight these opportunities to you in these markets. Bybit is primarily geared to just crypto trading, but if that's the only thing you're interested in, you know, again, with up to 30k in bonuses, this is just straight cash that they're going to give you. Any profits that you generate are yours to withdraw. And if you already have an account, by the way, you can make a new one and still get this offer, which is really, really cool. And the other exchanges, Prime XBT, BingX, these allow you to trade traditional finance. So, you know, it's really up to your own personal preference. They both don't require KYC, which is very, very cool as well. So very, very flexible for people who are a little bit more privacy minded. And again, just, you know, collectively with all the links down here, over 100k in bonuses, well worth checking out. If you do want to get inside of my 𝗬𝗢𝗙𝗜𝗔𝗟 VIP group, where I'm teaching you guys everything I know about trading, that's actually in the academy. I'm teaching you everything I know about the game, about analysis, about trading, and so on and so forth. But if you also want to see me implement those lessons, you know, because I do trade these markets, as you can see very clearly. I'm super active in them. I'm trading them when I can. You know, I'm not forcing trades for sure. You know, if you do want to see what that looks like inside of the VIP group, then you can join the group by following these steps on screen right here. It'll put you in a direct chat with me, and you can ask me anything you like. So well worth checking that stuff out if you are interested. But if we come back to the chart, actually, before I do talk about the big targets that we could be looking at, I do want to highlight this to you again. You know, in the last video, I did show you that Bitcoin has moved out of a nice kind of falling wedge. This is actually, you know, basically what Bitcoin is in overall, right? With the trend lines that I showed you previously, this falling wedge, you know, we've just got a smaller one inside of it. And again, look at that breakout. Absolutely beautiful breakout. It looks so healthy right now. You know, I mean, again, the problem is the resistance up ahead. It could turn into a bit of an issue, but I don't know, maybe Bitcoin just comes down to test this, you know, old resistance level, find some new support here, that kind of thing. Super possible, right? Let's not rule that out. But here's what's really fun. You know, if we actually go ahead and just kind of draw a flagpole from the bottom of this rally to the very top, and if we then kind of extrapolate this, you know, put this at our breakout point, this can give us a really fun target of where Bitcoin might go. And these are generally fairly reliable in my experience as well. I think I'm doing this live with you, so I haven't actually tried this yet, but I think if we go ahead and draw this trend line from this low to the first major high that Bitcoin set, and then we put them side by side, they do end up in pretty similar places. So, and this is a characteristic of trends, by the way. You know, people say that TA doesn't work. No, I've maintained this position for a really long time. If you think TA doesn't work, if you think technical analysis doesn't work, it's because you, my friend, are a bad analyst. So let's not paint everybody else with the same paintbrush there. It is just you, and this you know, really says a lot. You know, from 36.3 down to 34.6. This is a very tight range here, and it's normal in these kind of trends. A lot of the time, each leg has the same kind of general. It covers the same kind of ground. You know, each leg moves in similar ways with similar levels of aggression to similar price areas with similar amounts of strength. I don't know why. It doesn't matter to me why. I just need to know it so that I can trade based off it. And so if we are looking at targets based off this with a breakout out of our current falling wedge that we're in from the previous chart I was showing you, then that does put us up at 36K. And that actually makes a lot of sense, right? If Bitcoin is going to start pumping up, it's probably not going to get straight up to 40K. It's actually quite likely that we get close to 40K. We get to 36, 37, 38, and then see a pullback, because why would the market give us exactly what we want? You know, and then hopefully we kind of come down for some support over here, and we just, you know, do this thing that we're in right now. We just do it again. Either way, though, I think what's really clear is that the volatility is right around the corner. We've already basically started it. This could turn out to be a massive fake out. I do want to acknowledge that possibility. Of course, I've been very, very bullish in all of my videos because the market is very bullish in my eyes, but you know, at the same time, I also want to acknowledge where this could go wrong. It's hard, to be honest. I can't really think of what to say, but that doesn't mean it's not possible. To be honest, probably the biggest thing that is problematic on this chart is going to continue to be the signs that we've got on the _size dashboard right here. Fear and greed index back firmly in neutral territory. Wow, look at that, the long and short ratio. This is huge. This has evened out a lot. 1.4 longs for every short. You know, previously we were looking at 3 longs for every short. We were looking at 2.6 for every short, you know. So this has this has done exactly what we need. Binance top traders remain you know, very bullish, or at least more bullish than they are bearish, and Bybit is also slightly more bullish as well. So to be honest, this is still a little bit overextended, but it's way better than it was for a long time. I mean, you know, it felt like maybe a month or two Bitcoin's long and short ratio was just way too high, you know, but we've seen it come back down. Now we've seen it do this a little bit, you know, like it would get really, really high and it would just come back down to a reasonable place, but it will shoot back up after a few days, and it just stayed high for most of the time. That's why I said it felt like it's been like this for a few months. You know, so I'm not going to say that can't happen again. You know, Bitcoin has been very good at, you know, forming some really good progress and then screwing it up, and then, you know, having some really good progress and then screwing it up. You know, but again, I mean, you know, none of those things happened off major support levels. So that's where I think that this is quite significant. You know, if you see something happening off a major support level, that's where you pay a little bit more attention, right? You know, Bitcoin gets rejected at 30K when we know that that's a major resistance level. So, you know, no surprise that we trigger a bit of a downtrend here. You know, but again, you know, off major support, and considering that we're already in an uptrend, and considering that traditional finance is in the same position it was on Friday because it's a weekend, you know, we've still got a lot of strength here, you know, and we've been so on point with the analysis here. Again, S&P 500 is something that you can trade on BingX, again, without KYC, just with a Bitcoin deposit. It's crazy, guys, the you know, the options that are available to us in the market now. We just didn't have you know, opportunities like this in the market you know, a few years ago. So really, really cool that we can do this. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm still seeing the S&P 500 continuing to rally up. I just don't really see how that's going to change right now. I just don't really think there's that much resistance on the chart, and that's why we're moving up so quick, right? I told you guys that after this resistance level, we're probably going to go up here really quickly, and after this, we're probably going to go up here really quickly, and that's just because there isn't really any, you know, we look at these reversal levels where we find resistance and drop, or where we find support and rally. These are where, you know, these are where the price can turn around. But in the middle of these ranges, typically you just trend, you know, you just move up or down, whichever direction you were already moving in. And that makes our lives really easy. This is what's frustrating, right? As somebody who understands the basics of TA really well, I see other people that just don't know what the hell they're doing, and they try and, you know, pile on all sorts of weird indicators and fringe strategies, and I don't even know, you know, and stuff like that. And it's just so unnecessary. You know, if you know what you're doing with the basics, you don't need any of that. It's too easy to analyze these markets just using the basics, and they really do respond to them quite well, you know. So, you know, we've still got all the same setups that we need. I think that Bitcoin has just been lagging behind a little bit. The dollar continues to form my descending triangle prophecy that I set for it. So that is absolutely beautiful. You know, I mean, it's a good setup. I'm just not too worried about Bitcoin right now. I wasn't worried about Bitcoin as we were dropping. You guys saw that in my face, in my videos, you know, as we were getting down to these lows. I wasn't getting concerned. The only thing I was telling you guys is that nothing has changed. And now things have changed. Now we have actually fallen down to a critical area of support. We have actually bounced off it. You know, very, very long-term support right here. Pretty short-term resistance. You tell me what's going to win, right? Again, like I said in the last video, I'm going to start changing my mind if Bitcoin does get a rejection here and falls down all the way back down to this level. If we fall back down to 25K, I think we're going to lose it. Honestly, I think that would be really, really bad for Bitcoin. I would definitely feel a lot less certain about the trend if we do get back down here, because, you know, it really tells you a lot if you have such a good opportunity, if you have such a nice bit of price action and then you still fuck it up. You know, it really tells you a lot about where the strength is in the market, how much weakness is in the market. So I really don't want to see that happening. You know, I'm not going to be, you know, completely losing my shit if it does happen, but I would probably exit my longs and so on at that stage, you know, just because it wouldn't be comfortable holding that kind of position if we you know, squander such a good opportunity. To be honest, guys, it is a bit of a shame for me to say that, but you know, we'll take that as it comes if it does come. You know, for now, we're holding pretty strong. I mean, I've shown you this on the small time frames already, the hourly time frame, 4-hour time frame. You know, we're getting rejected, but you know what's happening? Just a 1.8%, 2% pullback, and then we're back up again, you know, after a day. So it's really not that bad. It's a nice bit of consolidation at resistance, and yeah, it's what you want to see. It is what you want to see. The only thing that's concerning is a lot of resistance does sit right at this area. But again, in the face of that resistance, what's happening? Are we falling down to 25K, crashing by 6% in a day, or are we having a really small 2% pullback and then getting back to business? You know, just hacking at that, you know, like with a pickaxe. We just keep on just gently tapping that resistance level until it breaks, and then we just explode through. That's definitely what I'm leaning towards. Obviously, you know, we are fighting an uphill battle right now, so that's important to keep in mind. But the best place to fight an uphill battle, you know, is coming off a critical, extremely strong long-term support level. So you know, the picture has looked clear to me for quite some time. I hope that it's looking clear to you. I hope that these videos allow you to build some really healthy conclusions. You know, ground yourself, understand you know, the market from a more realistic perspective. I don't know if this is going to happen for sure. Like I said, I don't need to be 100% certain. You know, I'm just trying to get the probabilities on my side, and then, you know, whatever happens, and you know, being relaxed really does pay off. But you know, we can't stay in this falling wedge forever. These two parallel channels will eventually converge. That's just the nature of them, right? These two lines will eventually meet, you know, and this is the perfect breakout time for Bitcoin now. You know, I don't think it's reasonable to expect Bitcoin to, you know, kind of keep doing this, you know, over the next month or so. You know, I think that if there's any time that we are going to get a breakout, it's going to be right here. If there was any time that we were going to fall down, it would have been right here. You know, so I think the bears did have their chance. Obviously, they couldn't take it because it was such a good support level. You know, and this resistance, I'm just not that worried about this resistance. I mean, look at how easily the market has, you know, fallen below it and then gotten back above it and then fallen below it for these little fake outs and then got back above it and then below and then above. It's just not that strong of a resistance area. This level just doesn't hold that much weight. You know, you compare it to the $25,000 area of support, and this is formidable. You know, I mean, this is, you hit it and it's a death sentence. You hit it and it's a parole sentence, and then you bounce off this, and you know, clearly, you know, because it was such an important level, it does trigger big things, right? So that's the difference between the levels that we're working with right now. You know, and when you are able to look at these markets through that kind of perspective, not only is your analysis going to be very simple and straightforward, it's also going to be very sober and generally leaning in the correct direction, in my experience there. So guys, if you have enjoyed this video, bringing this clarity to you, do me a favor, smash up those likes on this YouTube video. I am going to be on the 𝗬𝗙𝗙𝗓 daily channel right now talking about the altcoins, so come join me there with the top link in the description down below. Get your over $100,000 in bonuses, absolutely insane, using the links in the description down below. And if you do want to join 𝗬𝗙𝗙𝗓 VIP, if you want to see how I'm trading these markets, so on and so forth, you can get inside by following these steps on screen right here. It takes you into my free Telegram channel where I give you even more analysis on the markets from myself and my team around the clock. That is completely free of charge. It is this link right here. It's something I'm very, very proud of. Honestly, this is one of my favorite things that I do, is running this Telegram channel, because I can do basically what I'm doing with you guys here on YouTube, but without actually making a video. Because, you know, making a video, I got to sit down, I have to, you know, whatever. It takes time. These posts, they're just rapid fire. When something happens, we're looking at it, we're talking about it, and that means you can get really, really good, important updates right when you need them. So I wish I was a viewer of me so I could use this shit. But anyway, that's for a different day. I'll see you all in the very next video on the altcoin channel. Cheers. Take it easy.